If you are interested in web development, you must have come across Angular at least once. Did you know that large tech companies like Google, Microsoft, PayPal, and Upwork are among the 20,000 companies that use Angular for web development? Angular is a powerful open source web application framework developed by Google. Although it was developed way back in 2009, it is consistently being ranked among other top front-end development frameworks even today in 2024. The reason behind Angular's popularity is because of its Angular way, which emphasizes its component-based architecture that breaks down applications into reusable, self-contained components. But before I tell you more about Angular, if you're interested in web development and want to learn more from industry experts, check out Intellipaat's full stack web developer course from the link in the description down below. In this video, we're going to look at some of the basic concepts of Angular such as classes and the let and const keyword. So, without any further delay, let's get right into the video.
So what is let and const? They are nothing but they are way to create the variables. Till now, whenever someone asks to create a variable, we always use the var keyword. Now onwards, we can use the let and const keyword. Let us understand what are the let and const keyword. They are the block scope binding construct. Let is the new var and const is single assignment. So I'll be very shortly, I am going to explain about what is block scope binding construct. Let us see with the demo. So I do have a transcript file. Let and const can be used in the .js files also. So if I'm trying to create a variable, generally we say simply var x equal to, we assign the value, or moreover you can assign the value later on also, right? And further, can I use the same variable? So if I say var x equal to 100, and when we check out this console.log of 100, of x, the output is going to be, let us see, node, there is no transcript feature code here, so I can simply run it. It is a normal. So see here, the same variable name can be used multiple times, right? So that is what, and the var, we have this kind of problem, whereas this kind of case is not there in any other programming language. What if I'm going to use instead of var, if I say here let, okay? So the moment I say let keyword, let can be also used to create the variables, but in this scenario, this x cannot be used again for defining any other variable, for declaring any other variable. So see here, let x equal to 10, and again I'm telling I want to use the same variable to declare a new variable, same variable name to declare the new variable name. So which is not acceptable, just put the cursor here. It cannot redeclare block scope variable x. So what is block scope? See here, in the same scope we are trying to use the same variable name, right? What if I write something like this, change it to a let. Now see, the error is gone. What it says, this x variable is different from this x. Just check out the console.log of the same. I'll just write this is inside block, that is outside the block. See here, outside block. And now when I execute this code, see here, inside block we are getting the value as 100, outside the block we are getting the value as 10. Make sense? So let, whenever we are creating the variable using let or const, very soon I'm going to talk about the const keyword also. So whenever we are creating the variables using let or const, they are nothing but they are going to be the block scope variables. So wherever you declare only inside that block, they are going to be accessible. You cannot access them outside that block. So I made this as a block, the global scope variable, as it is, for the entire file I can access this x. And this is what, it is a local scope you can think, or it is a block scope. Inside this block only this x is accessible, not outside this block. Make sense? Now const is nothing but, see, when I say let x equal to 10, can I change the value of the same? Can I say let x equal to 20 or something like that? Can we reassign the value? Yes, we can do it. Just check out the output. Outside block, now it has become 20. Now what if I am using the const keyword? The moment I use const keyword, we are telling it is a constant variable. So you cannot reassign the value for the same variable. But can I reassign the same value? Just check out. Any kind of further reassignment is not possible. Though it is the same or different value, further you cannot reassign it. So that is what the difference between let and const. And here also const is, the block label scope. So suppose, I'm defining here also const. Yeah, just check out the output. Inside the block it is going to be 100, outside the block it is going to be 10. Make sense? So that is what let and const keyword they say. Let is nothing but a new var, we say, new var, new way to declare the variable. You can change its value, and it is a block scope variables. So where they are going to be accessed only within the block where they are declared. You cannot access them outside. Difference. Check out here. Var a equal to 1, var b equal to 2. We are using var keyword here. Check out. If a triple equal 1, so triple equal is nothing but to check the value as well as the data type also. So a data type is number, right? So is a triple equal 1? Yes. The data type is also matching as well as the value also matches. It is going to come inside this, the block, right? And what we are saying here, var a equal to 11. So the moment I say this, so the scope is going to be global for this. Okay. And when we say let b equal to 22, and the moment we are printing a, the value is going to be obviously 11. The moment we are printing b, it is going to be 22. But check out outside the block what is happening. Outside the block, a is nothing but the 11, whereas the b which we declared it using let, it is 2. Because let is nothing but it is a block scope variable. Block scope variable. But the var, whenever you are creating a variable using var keyword, they are nothing but it is, you can assume, as soon as it sees, your interpreter sees this line, this is nothing but it is going to be hoisted above. Right? All the variables are going to be hoisted above. The variables which you declare using var keyword, only those. But the variables which you declare using let and const, they are not going to be hoisted. Let us see with the other example also of let and const keyword. Okay, so this is what, we are inside the block. Let me try to replicate the same scenario. Say, just make it as var here, and we'll make var here. Got it? And we'll create one let y equal to, say it is 20, and here I'll say let of y equal to 200. Yeah, and I'll print inside block value of x, similarly value of y also. So what should be the output as per you? See here, var x equal to 10, let y is equal to 20, and further we are redeclaring it. So inside block, x value is going to be 100 and y value is going to be 200, but outside the block, x value will still remain 100 as well as, but the y value will be this outside block. The reason is, it is a let keyword. Just check out here. See here, inside block, x is 100, that makes sense. Y is 200, that also makes sense. And check out outside the block, x is 100, y is 20. Okay, so all the variables, they are going to be hoisted above when we are declaring using the var keyword. So the moment, the interpreter sees this code, it is going to take this code above here. Got it? Yeah, but I want to show you one more thing here. What if I'm creating a function here? I'm going to show you the hoisting is going to differ when we are creating a function. Give the function name. Say it is a myfun. Okay. Now I'm going to call this myfun here. Let us see the changes of the values. Okay. See here. Inside block, x is 100, y is 200. Whereas, check out the outside block. The value of x is 10. It's not changed to 100. See, the hoisting, when the variables are declared inside the functions, they are not going to be hoisted outside it. They will be hoisted inside the function itself. Right? They won't be hoisted above. Got it? But whenever any variables are declared outside the functions, they will be hoisted at the top of your page. Whereas any variables which are declared inside the function, they are not going to be hosted at the top of your code. They will be hosted at the top of your function. So suppose before this some other code is there. So, this code is going to move before that code. Make sense? So this is what, hosting we have seen for var, let and const keywords. In case of a var, whenever it is var keyword, all the variables declared with the var keyword are going to be hosted at the top, except the function one. In case of a function one, they will be hosted at the top of the very first line of the function. Whereas when we declare a function, declare a variable using let keyword, let or const, they are not going to be hosted completely at the top, as the reason is they are the block scope. They are having the block scope variables. They are the block scope. So obviously I cannot take it, it is not going to move up. So now I'll just, anyways, there is no TypeScript code here until unless I just mention the data type, then only it will become a TypeScript code. So the moment I say this, and then I need to run it first. I need to ask compiler, execute this. Then I'm going to ask Node.js, please execute my .js file. Let's check out, obviously the same output is going to be. Let's check out here this. This is a second .js which got created automatically. Okay, see here the let is, converted into var keyword. Let is converted into var keyword. Let us understand one more difference between let and var. At the top level of programs and the functions, let, unlike var, does not create a property on the global object. So let us understand the meaning of each and every word here. The global object, it stands as nothing but the window object. So what they are trying to tell, whenever you are creating a variable using let keyword, it is not going to be added as a property for the global object as window. Whereas when you are creating a variable using var keyword, it is going to be added as a property for the global object, which is nothing but a window. I'm running from this window console. If I just say window here, let's just check out. Window is an object which is having further few properties and the methods, many things are there. Now let us do, I'm going to create a variable using var keyword. First of all, I'll say here var x equal to 10. And now check out window, and here you can see that x is going to be added as a property for the window object. Just check out, somewhere it should be there. See here x10 has come. This is the one, right? Now I'm going to create a variable using let keyword. So if I say let y equal to 10, and again check out the window object, that y won't be there. Just check out here. You cannot find out the y variable. So that is again one more difference between let and const keyword. So whenever you are declaring a variable using var, it is going to be added as a property for the window object, whereas in the other case it is not going to be added. Yeah, see, x is still there but y is not there. So that is again one more difference between let and const. We are going to talk about the fundamentals of the same as well as the implementation in your TypeScript code. So let us start with the very first thing, what is object and the class. So the definition, it says as, a class is a blueprint that contains the variables and the methods, whereas an object is an instance of a class. So let me elaborate these two lines more with an example. Now the example is, suppose someone is asking you, you need to maintain a database for the employees. And you are going to create a class for the same. So which is nothing but a blueprint which contains the variables and methods. So you need to think out what could be the variables for your employees class, which is going to define your employees class. So it could be the employee name, first name, last name, age, date of birth. Then it could be, contact details, address. All those could be the variables. So you can think of thousands of variables for the same. Similarly, the methods, again, you need to take a call. What could be the methods? So methods are something, using the methods, you are going to change your variable details, right? Or you are going to do some operations on those variables, something like that. So I'll give you an example. Say there is an example of method could be get me the full name of the employee. So in the method, I can write the code wherein I am returning the first name plus last name, right? they could be the method to get the age of a person based upon the date of birth. So we can write the multiple methods which are going to operate on the variables of your class. Now the object, as I said, it's an instance of a class. So you can create 1000 plus objects for a same class. So in short, if I say class is something which does not exist physically, it is just a logical entity, whereas the object is something, the physical entity which is going to exist. So everything, including us, we are also an object. We all have our properties. We all have some other methods. So everyone is the object in the entire world. Right? So you need to come up with the variables and the methods for that class. Okay, so this was all about the top level terminology for the class and object. So let me talk in more depth about class and object. What generally a class contains the fields or data members. We call it as this is what the the logical terminology, the terminology to tell this is the variables. So in the previous slide we have seen, right, class contains variables and methods. So variables in terms of class, we say it is a field or data members. So any variable declared in a class is nothing but it's a field. Fields represent data pertaining to that object. So suppose I have created a an object for the employees class. So variable, as I said, variables first name, last name, they are nothing but the data members. So obviously every person is going to have the different first name, last name, age, all those details. Got it? So the data fields represent data pertaining to objects. So fields are nothing but the variables, and the data whatever we are passing, they are going to be saved into the fields. Next is constructor. Constructor is a special kind of a function or a method which is responsible for allocating memory for the objects of the class. The meaning is very simple. As and when you are going to create an object of a class, automatically what happens, this constructor or a special function is going to be called automatically, and which is nothing but it is going to allocate the memory for the objects of the class. So how much memory is going to be allocated for that object? It's simple, based upon how many data members or the variables are there in your class. Clear? So you have to be very clear while designing your class what all the variables are needed. You cannot write, suppose I have given the employees class example, you cannot create a variable saying that favorite color, the eye color, all those unnecessary details you should not put it. You need to think very clearly what could be the variables for your class. Next is nothing but the member functions, which represent action an object can take. So I have already given an example, like in employees class, what could be the member functions or the methods. So there can be something, get me the age of a person based upon the date of birth and the current year. Similarly, I can ask, create a function or a method which is going to return me the full name. So there could be multiple methods which, using the methods, we are going to interact with the variables or the data members of your class. So this was all about what is a class, what a class contains. Let us see now how to create a class, which is very interesting. So I'll just show you one demo of the same. So here we are going to create the employees class. So I've already created one TS file here. Let us create an employees class. The syntax is going to be very simple. The class is a keyword here, and make sure it is very much case sensitive. Whenever you are creating any class, make sure the first letter is going to be capital. Okay. So as I said, the variables or the data members could be. So let me just write here. It is a data members I'm going to create. Okay. So, the name, age, not age, let me take, date of birth, contact details. So all those things you can think of. So we know how to declare the variable in terms of TypeScript. We always say var variable name colon data type, right? So I'm going to write here name, right? So name, let me write fname n name, fname l name. So that will create a function also or a method string. Similarly, l name You can keep on, writing the variables, but make sure they should be very much relevant for the employees class. Otherwise, simply we are, we are allocating the memory to those variables, and moreover, we are not going to use those variables, right? Say the next could be employee ID. Employee ID, say it is a number. Make sense? And then what else is coming into your mind? So first name, last name, employee ID, and let me take the contact number, which let us make it as a number. So I'm just creating these many data members. Let us create a constructor. Whenever you want to create a constructor itself is a keyword here. It's a special function which does not have any return type. Check out here. It's just a function. See, generally in the function we write this as small brackets, right? It's a function, but there is no return type. We know that part void is one of the data type in terms of TypeScript, right? So if a function does not return anything, you always need to say colon void. But it doesn't mean you are going to write here colon void. Constructor does not return anything. Okay, so I'm not writing anything after this. It's just a constructor is a keyword here. And here I'm going to assign some hard-coded values. Later on, I'll take these values from the user also. As of now, it's all together hard-coded one. So F name, last name. Similarly, I can assign the other values also. What this keyword is doing here, this is nothing but it is going to point, we are talking about the current object. As I already told, class is the logical entity, whereas the object is the physical entity. Okay. We created a constructor. Let us create the member functions. Say suppose I want to create a function to get me the full name. So the scenario is, the syntax is going to be full name. Obviously you have to tell the method small bracket with the input parameter or not. Then you have to see here, the moment I have written this, it is giving me the error because this method is different from your constructor special function. So here I have to tell the return type, though it is a void or whatever, you have to mention it. So the moment I mention here, now the error is gone. Obviously the string it is expecting, so I have to return here the string. So I'll say this dot f name plus written spelling mistake, and let us give some space between first name and last name. Okay, so all set with we have written the data members, constructor as well as the member function. Now let us execute this function. So how to execute? So obviously we have to create an object of this class. Okay, so var obj equal to new our class name. Okay, so see here, the moment it sees this line new your class name, immediately it will go and check out the constructor with the zero parameter, with the zero input parameter. So as here I'm not passing any input parameter, so automatically it will come here and call this particular constructor. Further I'll show you when I'm passing some parameters here, so how the constructor is going to be modified. Okay, so this is done. Now we have the object ready. So simple, if I want to call the get full name method, I need a object actually. So that's the reason we have created the object, and that's it. As it is returning something, we'll print it out, console.log. Yeah, we'll execute this. So first, as it's a TS, we are using all the syntax and all. So suppose I'm, directly if I'm running using node my first class.ts. Check out here the error is. See, the error is not showing for the class keyword. The error is not for the class keyword, but error is coming for all those colon keyword, which is nothing but your TS feature, the TypeScript feature. It is not showing for the class. Why it is not showing for the class? Okay, so before that, let me do one thing. Let me convert into corresponding .js. So we'll ask the compiler, come and do your job. Okay, so the moment we are asking, the file is done. Just check out that file now. My first class.js. Okay, just check out this code, what it says. Can you see any class keyword? No, right? It is a function employees, and then you have this is what the constructor stuff, right? There's no constructor keyword also. The member functions are there, but check out the syntax for member functions. Employees.prototype is a keyword here. This entire function is nothing but, remember we have covered the IFI functions. So this is nothing but the function, IFI function, anonymous IFI. Then further we are going to create the object of this employees class and calling the get full name method. So what is this class altogether? Why it got converted into, something called function and all? Actually, class is one of your ES6 feature. So the moment I say ES6, the next question is going to be what is ES6? ES6, in short, we say it is a ES2015, or the other form could be ICMA script 2015. So prior to ES6, whatever we know, that is, we call it as a ES5 or the other versions, the lower version of JavaScript. So when we say that, so whatever you know till now about JavaScript, that is what you know about ES5. The moment I say it is ES6, so class is nothing but one of your ES6 feature. And already we learned another ES6 feature, that was the latent const keyword. So all your ES6 features, you can simply use it in your TypeScript file. So that's what I'm doing here, to create a class, and that's how we are calling one of the method of a class. Class is having your data members, constructor and member functions. Let me show you one more thing. What if I don't want some hard-coded value, I want the user to pass the value. So in that scenario, you can create a constructor which is accepting multiple input parameter. So I'll say here underscore. These variables are going to come from the user. String, comma, underscore, lname, colon, string. Okay. So first of all, see immediately, and the moment I have written this, check out, we are getting the error here, because what it is telling, the constructor is expecting 2 arguments, but we are not passing any arguments. So now I'll be passing from the user. So these are nothing but the variable names, right? So instead of writing Harry and Potter, I'll be writing the variable names here altogether. And similarly here also down, I'll do the same. Okay, and below we'll make the changes. Now I'm going to ask the user, you pass the values. While creating the object, you pass me the values. Otherwise, in the previous scenario, what will happen? All the employees will be having the same name. If I'm not asking the user, you pass the values, all the employees will be having the same name. Yeah. And similarly, let me create one more object with some different values. So I'll say here obj. This is obj. Let me make it as obj1. Yeah, we'll just pass some other value. Okay. We'll execute this. First again TSC. Done. Now check out your node my first class.js and check out the output. It is coming as first object full name and then after second object full name. Make sense? So this was all about how to create class, the constructor, the methods, the objects, and how those methods, those objects you can use to call the methods of your class. So this was all about about the classes, objects and all. So that's it guys. Thank you everyone.
Just a quick info guys, Intellipaat offers a full stack developer course which enable you to learn tech stack from both front end and back end. Through this course, you will gain hands-on experience with the skills and technologies such as SQL, Java, data structure, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Node.js and React under the guidance of industrial professionals. With this course, we have already helped thousands of professionals in successful career transition. You can check out the testimonial on our Achievers channel, whose link is given in the description below. Without a doubt, this course can set your careers to new heights. So visit the course page link given in the description and take the first step towards the career growth with the full stack developer course.